Yay! Hello.
Hi, good now afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Well, you look so cozy, and I like that we are yoking. It's really it's that time of year, and it's
Tis
that
the season.
video call. We need to really jazz it up from here up, and it's none of your business what's going on here down because
Never.
yeah,
No, it never
that's
is.
right. That's right.
Well, I love that you're wearing your Kordy, Laura, because big news coming this week from your camp is new Kordy class.
That's right. That is right. And shout out to Sarah Caston because she got her Cordy out of her whip pile and everyone was like, remember? Do you remember the Cordy? Remember how much we loved that? And it was like, yeah, it's in the ether. We need to make another. So it was such a pleasure to pull out my beloved Moon and Turtle book this week. I mean, it is so dog-eared.
Beautiful.
There are so many notes, so many sticky things. And I am excited to be back in Moon and Turtle Land. Yeah, Pam, totally influenced. And you know what? So is I. So God,
It's hard not to be. The sweater is so beautiful, as you can see, from Laura modeling it. And Laura, I heard that you fixed your sleeve.
finally, so now I have two sleeves that match. And you can see how freshly fixed they are. Need to weave those in, but now they match. So I reach for this again. I reach for this more. How funny is that? Not funny at all because sometimes those 5 minute things. I have this with mending too. Stuff will just sit there, and if you just
Yeah.
take the 5 minutes, you're like, oh my God, I have a brand new sweater.
I don't know why we do this to ourselves
What
because we
is
know it
it?
will only take 5 minutes. My Cordy is in my pile of shit that I need to deal with because it needs to be shaved. It will take 5 minutes.
It's really something. We have been on a tracker journey as a party. We have been working on our whips and pixels, and just kind of becoming like journal girlies. And I really want to start a little daily check for myself, like where I do like a 5 minute thing where I look at my mending pile and I like work on something for 5 minutes. Cause I have a feeling
Yes.
that thing would just like deplete like nobody's business. It's
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah. Nothing makes me feel better than when I dig through my to-do list and get to the bottom, the shit that's been like knocked to the bottom forever
Yes.
and just like, and they always are way less annoying than you think they're going to be.
I'm having one of those weeks too where it's just like the world is Lucy and I'm Charlie Brown trying to kick that football and I just keep missing. It's just dumb. Like I've been having trouble with my dishwasher. And so I just needed to like submit a request and of course through my rental company and it's like over a whole rigmarole. So I've been trying to conserve dishes and as a result, I didn't use a knife to cut my bagel and I just ripped it apart like a monster. I put peanut butter on the bagel and we had a lovely meeting yesterday. I was in my favorite comfy cozy outfit and you better believe I picked up that bagel right afterwards and spilled peanut butter. It's broken half and slammed on my sweater and my beautiful favorite pajama pants. And I was just like, cool, cool, cool. Uh this is a lot. And had I just taken the 5 minutes to use a knife like a grown up, and not be afraid of hand washing, none of this would be happening. Anyway,
This
the
really
point
is
is,
technology. This is
right.
technology's problem.
The
Yeah.
point is a stitch in time saves nine. Like you can get a whole new wardrobe if you just take 5 minutes to like do the thing.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna try to take that into my weekend because we have a little bit of a rare restful weekend in between retreats, which is
It
very
does feel
exciting.
weird. Yes, it does feel weird. So last weekend we were in Southwest Michigan
Yes,
at Galentine's retreat. We were snowed in. It was heavenly.
it was really
Um,
perfect.
yeah, it was so nice. Now we have a week off before we do retreats back to back. So yeah, it does feel like I keep thinking thinking times ahead. Like today I was like convinced it was Friday for some reason.
I
Um,
can't tell what day I
no.
just can't do it. I was like, oh, I'll do Whip Wednesday today. Won't today. No,
Yeah.
because it is Thursday.
Did not do it yesterday. Did not do it
Mm-mm.
yesterday. Yeah. So it is a little it's who knows? Who knows? We're just disassociated from time and space and reality.
Mm-hmm.
Um but yeah, I that's such a good plan. Is just to take a day to do something that you've been putting off.
Yeah, let's just see what
Um
I can do with a little chunk of time. You just never know.
yeah. 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 Great. Al's chiming in. She says that she supports a whip Wednesday on a Thursday.
Perfect.
I like that. I like that. Well, I did think we have a fake FO Friday that sometimes we hashtag. I
Right.
never post. I thought for a second with my finished balaclava, we'll come back to that, that I should wait until Friday to post it. And then I thought, I don't have the patience for that. Hell no. I took pictures today. They're going up to date. That's how it's going to work out.
Agreed.
So,
It's like when there is time to celebrate a whip, every day is FO Friday. Like I can't imagine when it's done not shouting it through the rooftops. We do not have that kind of
exactly.
time as a society.
Exactly.
So just get it in there, I say.
Just get it in there. Yeah, I love it. Yeah. We all support all picture taking, especially when the stars align and you can have an excuse to get yourself made up and the sun's kind of out
You
in
gotta
February.
carpe
That's
that
a
diem.
miracle.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you have to.
yeah, exactly. Can't not. Well, I feel like I'm gonna try to find my gleaner and give my sweater a shave, Laura.
Seriously, I mean, if you can't, just let me know because peek behind the curtain, everyone. We have a hang scheduled for this weekend because we cannot spend enough time together. And so I can bring a
We're
gleaner to
playing
that hang, girl.
games.
You just let me know.
Yeah, we're
You
playing
just let
games.
me know.
I feel like my gleaner is
Hmm.
in this region of space.
That's like my blocking mats. They're in this house. They're definitely in this house. Why would I take them
I
out of
can
this
see
house?
mine. Maybe we can do a trade.
Yeah, I just paste and paste after having to deal with my peanut butter sweater yesterday. And was just like, all right, thank God I only have unscented garbage bags in this house, but I have the blocking mats. Where the hell are they? Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, especially since you really took the brunt of the unpacking holding until I bet 30% of your house is just shit that's packed up to bring right back to the retreat next weekend.
That's true. And if Judge Julie is watching, she's going to have the pressure of helping me haul all that stuff out and place it in a vehicle. But so I know you're looking forward to your trip, girl. Surprise.
Putting you to work.
That's right.
Time to work.
That's right. But yes, it is a little chaotic. It was not the most organized before, and now it's really crazy. So notice I'm in a remote location that is a little bit more pleasing to the eye. So that's on purpose. But yeah, it's fine. It's all kind of part of it.
Don't look at it.
Yeah, it's all part of retreat time, and I do love it. Like I wouldn't have it any other way. But it is a great deal of schlepping. It really is. So that's why I'm excited. For the first time ever, we've got a full week in this place in Dahlia, our one of our favorite properties. So we get to
10 days.
yeah, we get to kind of
Move in.
store things there, not have to go in and out, in and out. So
Yeah.
very excited about that and excited
Yeah.
for what's to come. We just finished our schedule for our Sweater Club retreat. And it's just a delight. I was very
Yeah.
charmed by what everybody selected. So I'm looking
Well, I
forward to
hope
it.
they're not full of shit because we do have a tendency to get people filling out those surveys and saying they
Yeah.
want to learn all this shit, and then they get up there and they just drink cocktails and nap the whole time. So I will be disappointed if I can't do many lectures about gauge and sweater inspiration and teach needle felting.
Yeah, you should, Terry. That was an
Technically.
act. Yeah, at the very least, though, we do have craftivities, which are usually a hit. So I do think people will come to your your needle felting project. I do think people will come to watercolor time. I feel good about it, but we true to don't blame the messenger there, Susan. But yeah, the
My mom
cocktails are
said
good.
it's my fault because I make too good of cocktails.
The cocktails are good, but I mean, craftivities could not be closer to the couches, everyone. So I think we can all reassess. But as always, we say that it's a choose your own adventure weekend, so we have to take the ego out of it. But it does sting a little when you all claim you want our in-depth. I'll always think of Intarsia Gate from 2 years ago, where you did this whole demo, you had this whole thing, and 0 people came. 0.
You know, I wouldn't come myself, so I can't really blame them. But yeah, Intarsia,
Tough.
thumbs down. Yeah,
Tough.
thumbs down.
Unless you'd like to take Snowflake Best Class,
Oh
which is being naked 2 weeks, then it's very fun. But yes, uh, it's hard. Intarsia is hard. So, well, first of all, you dropped a huge, just an aside, and then we just breezed on by as if the people weren't like, did I hear that correctly? You have a balaclava update. We had an improvised balaclava along, which still doesn't really roll off the tongue. Balaclava along, we declared 2 weeks ago at this point. 1 week ago, hard to say. But
Hard to
you
say.
you had this balaclava dream in your heart, and I think you should tell
I
the people about
did.
it.
Yeah, I did. We talked about it a little bit last week because it was right after Balaclava along. Yes, thank you, Miranda. Yes, we because the lovely Erin uh started making the serpent balaclava, which is ruffle extravaganza, and her husband talks shit about it, and he was not into it, which just motivated us further to see what all the fuss is about, see how I'm trying to just continue to elevate my man repellent ways.
Mm-hmm.
um until they just look past me completely and leave me alone forever. That's my goal. And I feel like this is really going to help that quest.
The
Um,
suspense could not be greater at this point, because we got to see that thing. We got to see what you're talking about.
so I started knitting my balaclava. And this hilarious joke kept popping up all weekend at Galentine's, where because you start here and then you pick it up in a U and then you knit it down. So every couple of hours, I'd be like knitting away and then put this on, and everyone would laugh and laugh. And then right around here, people kept being like, "Ooh, that's getting cute." And I was like, never looking at myself. I kept being like, this can't possibly be cute. But we did the research. All these beachy wave goddesses were
Mhm.
wearing their balaclavas with their beachy waves, beachy waving and looking like sexy babies. Emphasis on sexy. And I had to get in there and see, is it a bald woman's game? Like, can I do this with no hair? Do you need to have beachy waves to get this to work out? Now, Erin put her finished balaclava on Tuesday night. She's got the cutest little curly bob.
Mhm.
And she demonstrated how as soon as you put that little balaclava on, your hair just frames your face in just the most pleasing way. So cute. It is designed for adorable hair situations. It's just the cutest. But then I thought, maybe I feel like I need to take this off. This would be too much.
You're right.
So I thought, will I be a sexy baby? Will it happen?
Well,
The answer,
it's the perfect amount of tuft in the front, I think. Oh,
I
that's
really like,
clever.
I mean, look how warm I look.
Yeah.
The key for me was when I put my coat on over it, instead of had it look like a chainmail helmet, like this. But yeah, I love it. So I ran out of yarn though, and Laura schlepped me this blue yarn. Mommy, you love it? Do I look like a sexy baby? Do I look
The
like a
blue and
sexy
white
baby?
does give like old-timey baby. And then, but I keep spying something on the side of the head that really
I
takes
had
it to
to
the next
bring the
level.
white into the body of the balaclava. I also when Erin joined the knit along, she had her little balaclava put down like this so she could hear. Obviously. And it's so like then it just sits here and you can just and then you just have to be like,
I
oh,
think
but
it's so
wait,
sweet. I
there's
love it.
more. Yeah, I really love it too. I really love it too. So the same issue though I was having, sexy milkmaid, even sexier. Yes, even sexier. Well, it's because I leaned into my Dutch roots and really did like a absolutely ridiculous quilted duplicate stitched design on the hood portion so that I could bring in more white because otherwise, only around the face, what are we even doing? This looks very planned, like a human would plan her baby, her sexy baby outfit.
Well, I think it's amazing. I didn't know where it was going. You said you had a surprise reveal for me last night at midnight, and it was a delightful surprise. But I also feel like it's amazing the where it's sitting, where you do get the tiniest hint of a tuft of hair. So you also get sexy hair. Um, my question though, you were talking about your Sophie Hood, because you're also the leader of the Sophie Hood knit along,
Yes,
and that is leaves a lot of ear exposure because
yes,
of the way that the wrap happens. How are your
yeah.
ears in your balaclava? The people want to know.
The whole thing is so warm because it's 4 strands of Surrey. It is the warmest piece ever. It's crazy. There is a little bit of wind that gets in. I feel like -12 or whatever it was last night is too cold. Like there is just a point where there is no option other than just
No.
like the tightest stocking cap that you own with the tightest scarf that you own so that only this much of your eyes pop out. And that's just what you can do. But today, this morning, it was like I don't know, 4 degrees. And I wore my little hood out and
Yeah.
I was super warm, except I do wish that I had mouth covering. So I think 4 might also be slightly too cold. Though some of the balaclavas do have like a mouth covering, I feel like that's a flex. Because but so this might be like I'm guessing like 20 degrees and up
Which
is my finding.
that's the majority, most of the time, winter weather. So that is shockingly practical, which is
Shockingly practical. Yeah, so Miranda's saying her loose ski hood from the Moon and
yes.
Turtle book has an optional face covering, which I can really. I mean, if you are in like a very, very cold weather climate where it's polar vortexing constantly, you do need that
You
face
do.
covering because with this, you can't, then you need to put like an additional scarf over it. Yeah, so
I
there we
can
go. Yeah, I
see.
mean, that so good. That's so practical. Slightly more practical than my sexy milkmaid slash sexy baby fit.
Which I was super. I have wanted one of these Lusky hoods forever, and we watched the beautiful Miranda work on this past weekend while you were simultaneously working on your balaclava, and it felt like the right. It feels like it's calling to me, like it's the right time. But yeah, I've always wondered if that little face shield was worth it. But to your point, I think
Yeah,
it's gotta be part of it. Whoa!
I
Now
think it's
you're
got to be part
so
of
is
it.
your neck the warmest it's ever been in life?
It's quick. You go so quickly from sexy baby to ancient great grandmother.
Yeah, I mean, all of these things are fun to be, we're all dressing for our fairy tale character of the day. So,
Now, usually when I go out, this is the little scarf that I wear, but I wear it backwards so that I can do this. And it tucks in my coat and then I put my hat
I
on.
can see that.
This is
Just knit a looski over it and you're set.
yeah, 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 totally. So, that was
It's a
big.
winner. A winner. Yeah. Après ski.
Uh,
That's all I get. I love it. It's so chic. I think it's so fun. I really do.
I really like how we're all leaning into just knitting ourselves the dumbest shit we can possibly find on the internet.
Yeah, why not? Because why not? Why else make
Why
anything?
not? Why
Yeah,
not? This also was so fast. I knit this weekend.
it was crazy how fast that was.
And I also finished the body of this sweater.
I
I knit
mean,
this whole body.
check it out. Yeah, including all that ribbing, like it was very snowy. And so we really sometimes you get distracted, you head to the hot tub, you like wander around the grounds. No, we all like huddled together. We all, even though we have an a la carte lunch, everybody sat down together for lunch every day. We were like this, and then we were like over to crafting, and then we were like this, and we were over to knitting. Like we were a united front, and we got a lot done as a group, I feel.
Yeah,
Look at
got a
all
lot
of that.
done.
Incredible.
So the sleeves are gonna have to be a journey.
Yeah.
Because I have this.
Oh. Oh dear.
I have this.
Okay.
And I have this.
Well, I spy a contrasting cuff and sleeve razzle dazzle on that badger and bloom that you're wearing. So you're no stranger to this game. I believe in you.
We'll see. I'm not worried. I think
It always
it'll be
works
fine.
out. You always work it out.
Yeah, it works out. So I'm going to my next trick. I'll be weighing out the rest of this yarn. I will be splitting it into 2 perfectly even piles and digging in and seeing where it takes me. But yeah, this was perfect retreat knitting because this entire body I knit in like a day and a half. Mainly because of the traders, but we'll come back to that.
Yes, we will.
But yeah,
we will.
We'll come back to that.
I also had a very successful retreat I was able to get for Leelanau alum. I was able to get my Leelanau to the big join. So I was able to get my body done and my sleeves attached. And now I have this hilarious looking weird bodice that looks like it belongs like a Tudor's, and I need like a chemise underneath or something. But I swear it's right and coming together. Yeah,
this is like a sexy Norwegian milkmaid.
Right. It's very off the shoulder, a little too off the shoulder and boobs, I would say. So we're just really just knitting up in armpits right now, which is why it looks so crazy. But I arrived with 2 lines of my lice stitch done, and I left the weekend with this accomplished. So I was very pleased about that. And there were times where I hit a wall and was very bored. And then you just had a snack and you sat back down and you got back to it. So, guys, knitting retreats, they're really the ticket. They really are.
Yeah. You can really knit a lot.
A lot.
Yeah, you really can. Yeah. Excellent. Laura, what else did you accomplish over the weekend?
You know, I'm still working through, I have a very huge, a monumental, some might say, final class tonight in zipper sweater, where we're going to be installing our zippers together. So I am working on my little sample still, but I finished this whole zipper dicky because in April, we will be having our second zipper dicky knit along. This is crazy looking. It won't be zipper only, but we'll be having a dicky knit along, show me your dicky, as it's famously known. And so you can see I'm working on my facings right now. But this whole thing I knit, and we'll have a zipper installed by tonight. And then I just did this I-cord bind off around the whole thing. And you can see it really flips up at the back. It needs the steam, very to the extreme. But this hilarious,
for sure.
Yes, it does. This hilarious item was also brought to you by the courtesy of the traders. And I thought, oh, I won't need to take a second ball of yarn because there's no way I'm going to get through this whole thing. And I certainly did. So this is so silly, but by the end of tonight, I will have a fully functional zipper dicky. The pattern is called zipper neck, which I don't like thinking about that.
I just hope that's like English as a second language
Yeah.
You don't really want those two words to be next to each other.
I would imagine that Zipper Dicky does not have great SEO in English. Might get suppressed. Fair enough. But this thing is very silly and I love it. So this is, I'm very excited to model all of this for you once I get steamed out in the zipper install. Hey, that looks like completed homework. Look at you.
I would just love, I've got like 4 more rows before I get to separate for my sleeves, and I have to do my face. I have to knit my facings.
Go
So not
super
quite,
fast.
but I'm hoping that sometime between now and 6:30 p.m. I can dig out the time to be able to really get there. But yeah,
Yeah.
this was a lot of knitting. I have a lot of stitches on the needles.
It's so much. And
I'm
everyone in class is really
so
powering through. You guys are heroes. Which is why I had to abandon you all and just do zipper neck. But regardless, you'll have the IRL
well,
real-time installation going on.
that's 2 birds with 1 stone, though, Laura. You're doing a dickie and you're doing homework for your sweater. So there's the
Exactly.
vision.
I love it. I love it. And
Handsome.
before we left for Michigan last week, I also hopped on zippershipper.com. That's zippershipper.com
Zipper.
and ordered that exact zipper. So I will also be doing the brown antique brass zipper
Good
along with
combo.
you and with Julie. So we're gonna
Mary.
crush.
Yeah. Excited about this one.
It's wild. It looks crazy at this point, which is why everybody takes the class. So definitely have to also, finish this until before 6:30, but I believe in myself. I can do it. The I-cord bind off was the hardest part of this whole thing, stupidly. But you know what? You're like, well, then I'll have my Dickie I can get people recruited for show me yours, #show me yours, zipper Dickie knit along, or whatever. All Dickies are valid. I don't know if I believe that. But we're going from one silly knit
a couple that I don't think are valid. I would like them to be gone.
Yeah, for sure. But I'm excited because, I just lose my mind about this color of Lopi. And I feel like this is the morning, the Arctic Lights colorway. And I feel like the natural light does a good job of like helping you see it because it's this blue with little streaks of like pinks and reds in it. And it's so hard to capture this online, but when we are in Iceland, this color and the galaxy colorway just pop so much. So I always, if I see this color, I just have to buy it, and I just have 2 random balls for no reason. And I thought that will be such a pretty contrasting facing with this beautiful like mustard harvest color. So I'm having fun with it. And that's really all that matters. Right?
Nice. I can't wait to see it. It looks so good. That's just like a very practical item.
Weirdly, it is going to be like, even just putting it on just now is the first real try on I've done, and I was like, oh my god, this is actually really great. I have a lot of uses for this. We have our grain line sewing retreat coming up in 2 weeks, the weekend after next, and a lot of folks are making the Cortland trench, and I love my Cortland, but sometimes you need a little something here, and I think when I go to London in March, zipper neck and Cortland is your girl. That'll be so good for plain.
I can't wait to see the pics.
Hilarious. But that's what we're doing. We're out here zipper dickieing and loving it. Who knew?
Yep. Who knew? It needs like 6 more ruffles for me, but it's a starting off point.
As everyone's favorite uncle dad, I don't often ruffle. When I do, it is in some sort of vest situation. But I should embrace the ruffle. That's a good note. I will take your feedback.
Maybe next year, because this year is your year of like semen. Your semen info.
Yes, sea captain. But yes, I will. I am.
Mr. Manager.
I'm Mr. Manager.
Semen.
I love I love the sea, and also dread it as I should, because that's how
Very
you show
scared.
the sea respect.
Yes.
And yeah, I've got a lot of stuff on the horizon that's gonna be cable-y, captain-y. It's gonna be very fun.
Love that. Love that. Okay, so
What's in there? What you gonna pull out? Okay, okay, yes. This is your farm again. I
oh
don't know
my,
that the people have seen this sleeve. Have you seen this sleeve, people?
have you seen the sleeve? Look how good it is. So here's my farm again. The body is done. I have one sleeve going in, as you can see, rainbow lice stitch. I'm
Yeah.
obsessed with it. I think it's so cute. It's gonna make me actually finish this, so I don't have to do all the doodles for the sleeves. This is such a hack. It's very kindergarten teacher to me.
But
Um,
like kindergarten teacher in the Shetlands, like it
yeah,
is so good.
I
You're
feel
not
like
letting the kids drool on that.
I'm kind of almost done. I'm close.
Yeah. Look how much. And that is like, it's just perfect. Like it is chef's kiss. And I know that people are losing I've watched people in our knit nights and in our class lose their minds over it. It's so beautiful.
It's so
Love a good
good.
lice stitch. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, love a good lice stitch. So that's what I'm working on over here. I haven't touched it in a while because I've had homework.
Yes.
Um, but yeah, the end is near. I'm very excited to get that done. And people are being hashtag influenced by all the doodles, so
Yes.
much so that we are dropping a new doodle, design your own doodle sweater
That's
class.
right.
It's starting in May, I think.
Yeah, that
Yeah,
sounds
starting
right.
in April, starting in April,
April.
April 19th. Yeah, just checked. But we're opening sign up, opening registration on Monday to party people and Tuesday nationwide.
That's right.
Uh, so so if
Which
you
is
have a doodle
perfect
in your
because,
heart,
yeah, and I really need the motivation to keep going. I need the class to keep on keeping on, but there's so much content. So I'm making little by little progress. So I did
oh,
finish
it's
out this last
so
doodle chart.
cute.
I'm on to my next pink row. Like it's coming together. It's so cute and fun. But I'm
So
especially
cute.
excited because I'm going to get through this body and then I will be able to like have a sleeve going while we teach the class, which will be helpful to talk through the sleeve worksheet a little bit and how I'm thinking about it. So it's an odyssey. It's very vibrant, some boyfriends might say, but it is I love it. And I'm very proud of myself. It's lovely. And then yeah, I
It's
just wanted you to see my
so
birds.
beautiful.
My
Yeah,
birds. You can
gotta
really
see
see
the
my
birds.
birds.
Yeah,
Hmm.
I think more birds would be my note.
Yeah, I've got sheep coming down the pipeline, and we will see. I also have squirrels. So TBD on the order of operations there. But yeah, I'm getting real
You would think.
naturey from the belly button down. I don't know. It's telling me what it wants to be, and that's what I like.
In the next doodle class, I will be making a Jurassic Park inspired vest, doodle vest.
I am so obsessed. I'm so obsessed with that because I have several vests in my mind that I want to make a reality. So as we just keep teaching this class forever, we can go through all of these options. They can
Make
all of
all your
our
dreams come true.
exactly. I want like a turtle's kraken vest, like all kinds of things. Um, yeah, and like so much dino content. There's just you just never know. You never know where you're gonna end up.
Yeah. Dinosaurs, very cool.
They are so cool. Yep.
Hot take. Hot take. That does actually set me up. I have some quilt blocks next to me, Laura.
Great.
Yeah.
I was so excited to see that these made your newsletter today. You've been working so hard on this. Tell the people what's going on.
So, one of Shane's best friends, his wife is having twins. Due imminently. They keep moving up her due date. It was April. Now it's like tomorrow. I don't know. Who can say? Um, so I thought I had a leisurely pace to finish these dinos. Now I'm kind of under the wire a little bit. Now, two babies means two quilts.
Yeah.
That's for me, that's how that works. I'm not going to be the first one who tells them that they have to share.
That's
They're
you, that's
Yeah, they're
you got to
English
stay
family.
family dynamics. Stay
Yeah,
out of it.
exactly. The American in me, that's not okay. The English, they're English. They know their family is gonna fuck them over. They're withholding. So they can tell them to share. In America, we don't share for shit. All right, that's one of our values. So I'm making two quilts. I planned out the colors.
Ugh.
I have one set of fabrics that has a yellow background and one set of fabrics that has a navy background. But they're both dinosaurs. All right. So I have completed 8 dino blocks.
Which now, thank you. Now that we're looking at it, you all like now that we're up close and personal, look at the way that this is constructed. Like under the dino's chin is a tiny block. Every little piece of background behind that thing of kelp or tree, whatever it's eating, is all tiny blocks. Like all of that has to be cut to very specific sizes and assembled all together. And it's like she's got 8 of them. It's so incredible. These children better grow up to be the prime minister back to back, because that is such an incredible amount of work. But it's so cute.
Yeah, it's so cute. I really love making these blocks, but nothing frustrates me more than when there's a mistake in the pattern. Which is what happened when I was making my T-Rexes yesterday. Here's my little T-Rexes. Aren't they so?
Juicy booty.
I like that they look like they have boots on.
Yeah, for sure.
Why do they look like they have boots on? I don't know. I don't make the rules. I just love them. How cute.
It's like half dino, half dragon. But it's so funny how the tiny arms are so funny. So funny.
But yeah, I don't know. There are a couple pieces left over. They did not fit in there. I'm just gonna keep rolling with it. Next up is a Stegosaurus. Looks very challenging.
Everyone's favorite.
Yeah, but so hard. Yeah, so hard. My mom asked how many blocks per quilt. 8 blocks per quilt. There's 4 dinosaurs, 2 dinos per 2 different quilt options for each dinosaur. So 8 total. And then you have to kind of piece them together. And so I know Rocco says she loves the short arms. Yeah, so I feel
sweet.
like.
And the dino boots are gonna sweep the nation.
Dino boots.
Yeah. So cute.
Yeah. I love it. So, I'm going to say I'm like 35% done with this quilt, because I need to make 8 more blocks, and then I need to piece it all together, and then I need to sandwich it together, and then I need to quilt it, and then I need to bind it.
Yeah. That's,
maybe 25.
Quilting, the fun part of quilting is making the top, but then there's a lot of steps after that to turn it into a quilt, and that's hard, just so you know. So hug a quilter in your life.
Hug a quilter in your life, absolutely. But I just have a feeling that these quilts are going to be very, very well loved. And 2 little babies getting born in 2025 are going to need all the support from dinos that they can possibly get.
No, that's true.
So,
that's true.
So that's what's happening. That's what's happening.
Yeah.
Focused on that. I'm going to try to get the Stegosauruses done at some point this weekend. I feel like they're going to take the longest time. That's a lot of plates.
Things at the top.
Yeah. That's a lot of plates.
Well, we will be on the edge of our seat, but no pressure, of course. No pressure.
Pressure's on. Those babies be coming.
Yeah,
Yeah, those
there is
babies be
a
coming.
slight deadline. A slight deadline.
Yeah. So yeah, so that's but it's been nice. We were kind of talking about this a little bit over the weekend because there were some sewists and quilters at Galentine's, but it's so nice when you dig into a sewing project because you absolutely cannot be on your phone while you are focused on making a dino quilt.
No.
Yeah, you just put that phone to the side, and 6 hours later, you like put your head up and you're like, holy shit, what's happening?
No,
Um,
when you gotta cut something that's 3 7/8 by 3 7/8, you gotta really lock in.
you
You
gotta
gotta make
focus.
sure, and if that has most likely rubbed off on your ruler, you gotta really get that figured out.
Yeah.
So there's
Yeah, you
no
got to put
time
it in
for
the
phone.
pile that goes with the right piles.
No time
So
for
that
phone.
you're spreading out all the piles, and then you have to make yeah, you have to make sure everything is, especially when you're doing it twice. Like I'm batching both these quilts at the same time. So that's why I have this map,
Yes,
my fabric
you
map.
must. You must.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I must have my fabric map. I have very clearly. I have so many. So this is my box of wine
Like, oh, ah,
full
surprise.
full of these were the pieces that I didn't have room for on my T-Rexes.
Hmm.
Is that a problem? Who knows? Are those are those foundational pieces for
Don't know.
but yeah.
Perhaps
So
those are the
here's all
reasons
my
they went extinct. Who knows?
we'll, we'll see. But yeah, I've 1,000 bags, very well organized. Oh, here's my backing fabric.
That's so pretty. Is it the same backing fabric for both? Love.
Uh, so that's what I'm up to.
Well, damn. Yeah, I only have one other show and tell for the moment, and it is my very slow yoke along project, but I did add an inch to the body this week. This is my potato chip knit right now because it's just black stockinette. So, you can just, so when I need to kind of just from zipper necking, from big joining, from doodling, I can just be like, hey, I'm gonna just do a little bit of stockinette, and over time it'll get there. I would like this is one that I want to fast forward to done. I really want this sweater. I want it now. I want it for the weather we've been having these past couple of days. So that means it will be finished when it is 50 degrees out, and I will never want to touch it again. But it's so
Well,
sexy.
hopefully 50 more than 65, because 50, that looks like a coat to me.
Yeah, that's the idea. My idea is that this is my sweater that I take with us to Iceland in June, and I do another vest to go over it, and like that's my coat. Because I do want a big outerwear Lopi sweater. But that just means it'll be 80 degrees by the time it's done. And that's future me's problem, because then in a year when it's like this again, I'll be glad I have it. So.
Yes, you will. Yeah, absolutely. Wow, we're doing a lot of knitting.
Yeah, we are. It is our job, but it is a little bit everything's in flux. So I'm very excited to have to finish a project tonight, and to have that Dickie. I'll feel real ahead of the game for once. So that's exciting.
Yes, that is exciting. Yeah, I'm excited to get my zipper in tonight's class, Laura.
Yeah, it's not that bad. It's just fiddly. Not that you haven't had your share of fiddly with your dinos, but it's just a little fiddly. And
I'm
then
ready.
the sweater becomes a sweater like before your eyes. Like once it's in, you're just like, oh my gosh, it's very fun.
I feel like we need to lay out a disclaimer, because spoiler alert, if you do not want traders spoilers, turn this off.
Traders
If you
US season 3.
And also, I
Two.
did my homework, Laura, and I watched Conclave. If you have not watched Conclave,
You should probably shut this off.
you need to shut this off.
Yeah.
Okay? Because spoilers abound, and I didn't even know there were spoilers available in bye, roll close gun. Come back
But
later
before you
after you watch.
go, Allyson, would you recommend Conclave?
1,000 times
Okay.
yes.
I
I
loved it.
was screaming at my television, so interested in what these old white men were screaming at each other. I was like, what in the fuck? So invested, loved every second of it. You will too. But go away.
Yeah.
Watch this later.
I hesitated to recommend it to Allyson because it has a lot of things that she doesn't like: organized
Men.
religion, lots of old white men only talking to each other and not treating the women very well. And I knew all of
But
this,
I
but
did love how it worked out at the end. And I did really okay, should we start with Conclave? Or should
yeah,
we
let's start with
start
Conclave. So yeah, nominated for a few Oscars for sure,
yeah.
but not enough if you ask me.
Yeah.
So now is the spoiler portion. So
Yes.
goodbye.
Okay. So I I watched the preview for Conclave. I thought, wow, that looks really good. I would like to see that in the movie theater. And then it was there for 12 seconds and I never
Right.
went. So I was always very interested in Conclave, which to Laura's point goes against a lot of the things that I am known to like, which again, organized religion, very scary. White men being stuck in a room together. If that doesn't include all of them dying, generally I'm not into that.
Well, and
But I
generally,
do
right?
love
The
the
idea
toot,
is it's simple. It's a simple premise of the Pope
yeah,
dies and it's time to convene the conclave to elect a new Pope.
which I
And
really knew nothing about. And that was one of the things that I thought it did really well at the beginning was not acting like you're stupid, but
right,
also filling in enough information where you're like, okay, how's this going to play out? My grandmother, my mom's mom was Catholic. I was not raised in the church. The last time I was in church was when she died. Probably don't really see myself going back there. Don't know a lot about Catholicism other than the highlights, which are all actually lowlights,
well,
which
yeah,
which they kind of talk about. But it's not about that. And I thought that was so, I thought they did such a good job because so many
right.
times they just over explain all this shit to you. And then you're dumbed down to a point where you're not interested anymore.
Right. But there's also it's like you know, grappling for power, and in the context of like Game of Thrones or Succession, like that's not really your kind of thing. So I wasn't sure, but then yeah, as the story moved along, I thought it was very well written. I kept responding to that and how believable everybody's reactions were, and
The
like
characters were
you
good.
were in the pressure cooker with all of them and you felt the
The
pressure.
tension building was phenomenal. And I really thought, like, it kept saying thriller, thriller, thriller. I was thinking the whole time that it was just the tension building because I thought it was like a masterful tension building
Hmm.
like process as you worked through this kind of long movie. It kept
Yeah.
the stakes kept getting higher, like in the layers kept getting peeled off. I thought it was good. Visual feast.
Visual feast.
um
The moment where there is an attack while they're all in the Sistine Chapel and part of the ceiling like collapses in, it's like beautiful. It's like a beautiful painting. That's lit so beautifully. It is
so
like
many moments
jaw
of it
dropping. Yeah.
they were like, oh, because they're in art.
Hmm.
And so then they become art, and you're looking, and the juxtaposition of like they're all on their cell phones or whatever, and then they're
And then
like
they're putting on their
basically,
Cossacks and their fancy jewelry and their special
yes,
knots, and you're like, weird.
you
They're in an
forget the
Uber.
time.
All the nuns are in
Yeah,
a van. You're like, the
it
fuck?
was so good because it really does feel like you're like a period piece. And
Hmm.
then you'll hear a siren and you'll be like, oh no, this is happening now. And the way that they're in these insane costumes that are from the 1500s, not a lot has changed in how they dress all those cardinals.
Right.
And then they're like and then they're like on the computer.
Right.
Yeah, it was amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was amazing.
And with the ending, I did not see where it was going. But I didn't see the twist at the ending. I saw that sort of humble, mysterious Archbishop of Baghdad
Mexican, yeah.
was probably going to be in the lead and or become Pope. I did think that would happen because of the like mysterious introduction, but
Or play a part in it. Like there's a
yeah,
middle part where Ray Fiennes sits down with him and has a conversation about making him not vote for Ray Fiennes anymore. And I thought that that new mysterious cardinal would like whip up the votes, so then Ray Fiennes was going to be the Pope. So that's
there
kind
was
of
a
how it
moment
was
where that
going.
looked like a real possibility, right? But I
Yeah,
also thought I loved how Tooch was sort of the head of the liberal wing and was going to be this big change
as you do.
maker.
Yeah.
And I thought it was really well observed about, not to be too um pointed, but I thought it was a really good observation about liberal politics and how the infighting and the quest for the absolute perfect candidate means that you do the work of the conservatives and eat each other alive and then let the conservatives rise up and just keep things the way they've always been. And I was like, I thought that was very subtle but very timely, and was like, I'm going to take that note. I'm going to take that note. Um, I thought that was so interesting because from the beginning, I'm like, well, it's got to be Tooch. It's got to be Tooch. And then when it
Dude.
wasn't Tooch, I was like, oh, this is a movie about how everything sucks and will never change. I'm not really in the mood to watch this movie right now. And then,
There is one conservative guy who's a fucking monster who
yeah,
rolls in real hot, and you're just like that guy. And then they're kind of angling for this other guy who's the best of the worst options.
mm-hmm,
So then you're just like, well, that actually tracks as well, you
right.
know? So
And you're
it's
disappointed.
a
You're like, I've spent all this time in this movie and it's just going to go
it's
the
a
way you think it's going
yeah.
to go.
It's a nice like bottle episode kind of like, you know,
Life.
politics in a whole, just in like
Yes.
a smaller scale. 108 cardinals are in there trying to vote or something.
But it was
um
interesting because the twist ending, again, mega, mega, mega spoilers. But it turns out that this little known cardinal is going to become Pope. And it's the morning of the announcement. And the cardinal confesses to Ray Fiennes that he is intersex and has both sets of genitals. And and then Ray Fiennes is like, am I supposed to say something? Like, this will obviously come up at some point. um,
Probably when he dies, because that was one of the craziest parts, was when they're having that whole reveal and this poor person didn't realize that anything was different about them because of how conservative and closed
mhm,
being Catholic is. No, he'd never seen anybody else's junk. So he didn't
right,
know until he got his appendix out and the doctor was like, you got both parts.
right. And so then at one point, the Pope is like, is made aware of that. The living Pope, the previous Pope, is made aware of this and is
Yeah.
like, go to this clinic, get it sorted, and that'll be done.
Yeah,
But
full
this
hysterectomy, what
person,
their solution is, of course.
yes, but then this person was like, well, if I'm super Catholic, I think that God doesn't make mistakes, and I'm not going through with this. And so so now it's now.
What does he say? God made me in his image? Something like,
Hmm.
and Ray Fiennes is like,
Right. And then it cuts to the previous pope had kept turtles as pets, and they keep escaping. And Ray finds a turtle and is like setting it out into the garden. And for me, I was talking about this in one of my classes with people that had seen it. And for me, it's a journey, but I inadvertently worked for the Catholic Church for 2 years, pretty wild. But there was always this saying about church time and how when you work for an organization that is just apologizing for atrocities that committed in the 1300s, time is very relative. And so I thought it was sort of a meditation on how slow change happens in that institution, if at all.
"Hmm."
But then somebody in that class reminded me that and I learned this because I swam with turtles in St. Thomas, but it is very difficult to ascertain the gender of a turtle. People have to like study for a really long time. You don't really
Like
know by looking if they're
temperature.
male or female.
Yeah.
Um, and so it's like a whole thing about turtles. So I was like, damn, the
Yeah, I didn't
symbolism.
think about that either. Yeah, the symbolism. One thing that really struck me is I don't know why Isabella Rossellini is around. She's not doing a whole lot. They're not giving her much to do. But the one thing she does do is she pops up in the middle of that. She's like, here's some information you all need, and then she bows and leaves. And they're all
Because
like,
the reality is, those assholes don't give the women anything to do, but the real tea is the nuns run that shit. The nuns
right,
know
which they did a really
everything.
good job of setting up. And then the other person who has to deliver a speech is this soon to be named Pope, who also gives a beautiful speech in front of everyone about war and what it means to be in a war, and not to use that as like a rallying cry, because the reality of war is
Pure
atrocious,
evil. Yeah.
pure evil, and that's what makes people vote for the new pope. And so the
For the
only
smoking
two
guy.
like
Could tell he's bad
speeches
because he's
that
smoking.
yeah right, so the only two speeches that are like delivered that actually have actionable items
Okay,
after
sorry, but
them
the
are just
light coming through the back while you're talking about this, like, ah. Sorry. Woo!
yeah. It was good. It was well done. They should put more women in charge. It was my big takeaway.
Yeah, and that's again very subtly put, and I thought it was one of the best movies new movies I have seen in years.
Hmm.
Years. Even if we spoiled the shit out of you because you just can't stop listening to us gab, you should watch it. It's
Yeah.
so subtle and good, and you can't
Yeah.
believe how locked in you are when it is as long as it is. So I
And
loved
I
it.
didn't, when I went into it, people were kind of talking about it over Galentine's, and I just thought the reveal at the end, like I thought the twist at the end was going to be like they picked a pope that you weren't guessing. Like I didn't know that there was this like actual like
Huge twist.
twist.
Yeah,
And I was still like crazy into it. So
same.
if you are just like, I wonder who they're gonna pick to be the Pope. That's what I was the whole time.
Yeah.
So you don't need to watch it to be like, I can't wait for the twist. Just see who they vote for. Like
Yeah,
that
because
was
I
the
got
whole
nervous too
reason.
because I'm like, oh my God, I really love Rafe Fiennes. I love Rafe Fiennes in general, but he tends to
Same.
do the like, I'm so evil. And so I was like, oh my God, I really love this guy and I'm rooting for him and I'm on the journey with him and something's going to come out about him that's going to make me hate him. And I really am sad. I'm pretty sad because I love him so much. And that is not what happened. And I was so relieved and happy.
Yeah. Yeah, me too. And I highly recommend doing a Ray Fiennes double feature. Watch the Conclave, then watch the menu.
Oh
Because
man. He's your
the
hero. Yeah.
he's my hero. He
Yeah.
is my hero. Oh my God. I love the menu. Ray Fiennes, his dramatic range is unbelievable. And another I want to say too, um, um, oh my God, Lithgow.
What is going
Was
on with his wig? I have to he has some sort of unit going on. Of course, this is yeah, Lithgow was great, but I was very distracted because I was like, he has a very subtle wig happening, and I can't figure out
I think they
if they
tried
did
to
a
make him.
nose too or what. But he looked very different than the normal
Well, I
Lithgow to
think
me.
maybe the last time we saw him was when he was all
He was
Churchilled
Churchill.
out for the.
Yeah,
So he beat Churchill. He
yeah. Ah, maybe
you know
something's up with the hair. It's
Mission
gonna be the
Impossible face
cap, but
off the right. Yeah, and I think that's just what his face looks like when they're not making him try to
But
look
he
like
too,
Churchill.
because you know what? I love to hate him. I love to hate him. So
You love to hate.
Lithgow, he does a good job as a bad guy. Like, cause he, I love him as
Oh,
Churchill.
I see what you mean.
But yeah, he does such a good job of being like arch and you're not rooting for him in this. But not being like meh, like Wario. Like he's
No.
so good. Yeah.
Yeah. Because every time we talked, you'd just be like, is he lying?
Right. And you're just like,
You know?
ew. It just any
Is
little
he not?
thing, like
Is he not?
every move that he'd make, you'd be like, ugh, ugh,
Yeah.
bleh, ugh.
But then he would talk to him. Then Ray Fiennes would talk to him directly, and he'd just be like, "All right, maybe he's not lying. Is he not lying? Like,
I think
I
he was
don't
lying the
know."
whole time. I think he's a
Oh, he
little
was lying
shit.
the whole time, for sure. He was lying the whole time.
Little shit.
But he
Big
was
shit.
really good at trying to convince
Gaslighting.
you that he was lying. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, really good, really good
And
at
I'm
it.
glad
But
he didn't get away with it, the little shit.
I know. But then you too, I kind of tooched about it too, because I was like, well, I'd rather have Lithgow than the Nazi.
Yeah. Yeah. Cool choice, by the way. But yeah. Anyhow, I know. I want to watch it again. I really liked it.
Well, I think I'm gonna talk Shane into it. Because I messaged him because I said, Shane, you want to watch Conclave with me? Let's watch it tonight. And he's like, I have zero interest in watching this movie. And I was like, oh, that actually kind of surprises me. And then I messaged him when I finished it, and I was like, you fucked up. This movie's great. And he's like, oh, really? Well, you have to sell me on it then. So I'm going to sell him on it, and then I think we're going to watch it again. But yeah, A++. Thought it was great.
Good. Oh,
needed more tooch was my only note. More tooch.
Yeah. And more Rossellini, but the church wouldn't let that happen. So
they really weren't. Unless she also had a dick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
really going around though.
That yeah.
Yeah. That's really going around.
About that. Well, thank God, because I just loved it and I was like, maybe I'm way off base and this will be like something that Allyson will not enjoy, but I'm really glad you did because I just think the writing, it just really is so good.
I'm going to skip the book though. It feels like it's 800 pages.
I think that's fair. And really, what a successful adaptation. Carrie, if you're still around, I hope you like our analysis. Carrie of the podcast Christmas movies, actually.
Yes. Yes. We love talking movies. But Carrie is the queen. Carrie's the queen. Oh, great. Ooh, we got the approval from Carrie.
We passed muster. All right.
Yeah.
Thank God.
Thank God. All right. Well, we talked about Conclave way too long, so we didn't get a chance to talk about Traitors. But in 2 weeks or whenever our next live is, we'll dig into the Traitors. It'll be over by then. So we'll be able to.
Important check-in with you. Are you going to watch today's episode or are you going to wait until we're back in Michigan?
Well, I was going to wait, but should I not?
Nope, I was going to wait too, but I didn't want to wait if you weren't. So I'm just working my way through season 2. I'm working my way through season 2. I've got what I need. But I just wanted to check because I will be on it like white on rice if you plan on watching it. But we will wait. That sounds good. Good.
Laura and I watched 8 episodes.
Yeah.
We watched 8 episodes of season 3 of the trailers before everyone got to the retreat. It was our number one business. That was the number one business that we had to accomplish, really.
It was very important. Everything else was like side business, but I'm excited. There's something about being in a big cozy house and watching a silly show. So much more fun.
Yeah. So more on Traitor. That'll be our cliffhanger for the next episode, Laura.
That's perfect. I know the people are on the edge of their seats. That has to be a Venn diagram of people who have seen Conclave but aren't caught up on the Traitors.
Yeah, right.
That'd be great.
Well, now people who left because they didn't want us to spoil the Traitors are going to be like, the fuck? Now I'm going to have to leave the next one. We did have a couple people over the weekend that kept trying to avoid spoilers, even though all anybody wanted to do was talk about the Traitors.
Yeah.
Which you love to see it. But yeah. All right. Well, hopefully that gives you some things to watch while you are knitting something just truly ridiculous over the weekend. That's what we hope for you. All right, so we've got retreats coming up the next 2 weeks. I'm trying to see when our next live is, Laura. Oh, it's not till March 13th.
Well,
so 3 weeks. is when we'll be live again. So mark your calendars. I hope you can join us. In the meantime, watch Conclave. Knit something
Do
stupid.
it.
Yeah, do it. Do it. All right. Have a great rest of your Thursday, everybody, and we'll see you soon.